What if I told you that our world is full of misunderstood mysteries? Mysteries that are incredibly difficult to explain with modern science. Mysteries that might hide secrets that have never truly been explained. Millions of people visit places like Mount Rushmore, the White House, and the Capitol building every single year. But what if they aren't just historical symbols? What if they are actually pieces of something much, much bigger? Before we dive into today's incredible journey, I want to ask you a profound question. In your opinion, do near-death experiences indicate the undeniable existence of life after we pass away? Or can they simply be explained as chemical reactions of the brain in its final fading moments? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. And if you have ever had a near-death experience yourself and wish to share it with us, please fill out the form in the description of this video so we can tell your story anonymously, or simply send us your story using the contact information provided in the description. Now listen closely to this extraordinary account. I was gone. No heartbeat, no brain activity. For 7 long minutes, I was entirely absent from this physical world. But what I experienced in that window of time didn't feel like passing away. It felt more real than this. It felt more real than the air I am breathing right now. Doctors said I was clinically gone, flatline, no pulse, no response. I was a lost cause to them. But during those 7 minutes, I was somewhere else entirely. And what I saw there, what I felt and learned, still haunts me to this day, not with fear, but with a profound and unshakable awe. I was only 14 years old at the time. It was supposed to be a routine visit. My mother had taken me in for a standard procedure because the dentist had found a cavity. The room was sterile, filled with the typical metallic scents and the harsh fluorescent lights of a standard clinic. It was just me, my mother, the assistant, and the man working on my teeth. He administered nitrous oxide to ease the discomfort, but I was still feeling the sharp, agonizing pinches of the procedure. I remember him asking his assistant to turn up the gas. They increased the flow, and almost instantly, everything began to shift. Everything went black. But it was not like sleep. It was not the gentle, welcoming drift into unconsciousness that we experience every night. It was a heavy, encompassing silence. Complete, absolute silence. Then, suddenly, I became intensely aware, but I was not in my body anymore. I felt a strange, weightless sensation, a lifting motion that defied all laws of gravity and physics. I floated upward, drifting toward the ceiling of the clinic, and as I looked down, the scene unfolding below me felt entirely surreal and impossible. I was hovering directly above my own physical form. I watched my mother, the assistant, and the dentist frantically working over the chair. It felt like some type of vivid, detached dream. I tried to reach out to them. I remember shouting out, asking if anyone could hear me, asking if anyone could see me hovering right above them. But I was no longer made of flesh and bone. I was occupying a spirit body, a form of pure consciousness that vibrated with a completely different frequency than the material world. And then, the physical room began to fade away. I moved effortlessly through the ceiling, passing right through the dense physical barrier of the building, and shot up into the sky. I felt like I was being pulled, slowly at first, into something vast and incomprehensible. I was drawn into a portal, a colossal dark tunnel that seemed to stretch into the infinite unknown. I felt like I was being pulled into the very hidden fabric of the universe itself. At first, it was peaceful, almost too peaceful, and then the acceleration began. I was moving at an impossible velocity. There is no amount of speed in our earthly physical world that can even begin to compare to this rushing sensation. It was a rapid transportation through unseen dimensions, a rushing energy where you could actually feel the intense vibrations, not in your bones because I had none, but through the very core of your consciousness. I was completely alone in this dark expanse, traversing through different realms and timelines. At one point, a fleeting, terrifying thought crossed my mind that I might be lost forever in this endless cosmic void, that I would never be heard from or found again. But then, amidst the rushing, heavy darkness, I started to hear them. Melodies. Beautiful, cascading, divine melodies that seemed to be sung by the universe itself. I was feeling the immense velocity of being pulled through this space, and as I heard the music, I saw it. A tiny pinhole of light in the distance. It possessed a powerful gravitational pull, a magnetic force of pure, undeniable love that drew me relentlessly toward it. It pulled me right through the absolute center of that light, and suddenly, the dark tunnel vanished entirely. The space opened up into a magnificent, tremendous crystal blue sky. It was a euphoria so absolute and complete that the human mind cannot even begin to process or measure it. The sky in this realm was not something you simply looked up at. Because I no longer had physical eyes, my vision was completely unbound. I had a full 360-degree perspective. I could see everything around me all at once, taking in the breathtaking environment not just visually, but vibrationally. I could feel the existence of the sky, the air, and the light permeating my very being. It wasn't what people typically describe in old stories or paintings. There were no stereotypical angels with feathered wings playing golden harps. There was no traditional depiction of heaven. There was just an overwhelming, all-encompassing presence. A powerful presence that was watching me, holding me in a state of absolute, unending grace. And it knew everything about me. Every thought, every joy, every sorrow, every hidden fear. To my right, I perceived a set of tremendous, glowing golden gates. I was effortlessly pulled through them and found myself arriving in a sprawling garden. I struggled deeply to find the right words to describe this place because our earthly vocabulary is incredibly limited and flawed. But imagine a space where every single blade of grass, every towering majestic tree, every delicate leaf, and every soft, glowing rose petal is alive with an energy of pure, unconditional love. Everything vibrated with a perfect harmony that resonated deep within the core of my soul. It was a feeling of absolute belonging and safety. I felt an overwhelming sense that I was finally, truly home. The scared, confused 14-year-old boy in the clinic chair simply no longer existed. I was a boundless entity of light, returned to my true ancient origin. On the other side, our senses are completely unlimited. It is a vast collective consciousness where we absorb the entirety of existence simultaneously, without effort or confusion. Leaving the borders of the garden, I moved into an infinite expanse of open fields. These fields were beyond perfect, rolling endlessly with vibrant grass that glowed with magnificent colors that simply do not exist anywhere in our physical spectrum. I was taking in all this breathtaking scenery through a profound, elevated awareness, a bird's-eye view that captured every detail of the realm. It was the kind of spectacular place where, once you arrive, the very concept of leaving becomes agonizing and unthinkable. As I floated gently through this majestic landscape, I noticed something deeply peculiar far off to my right. There were 3 distinct, glowing rings hovering high in the vibrant sky. I didn't see anyone explicitly passing through these portals, but there was an innate, unquestionable understanding that they were active pathways, gateways to other wondrous realms or dimensions. Then, I noticed a young angelic being, seemingly around my own age, approaching me from across the vast fields. She seemed to have emerged directly from the direction of those celestial portals. She exerted a gentle, loving levitational force, pulling me softly and safely through the fields until we arrived at a beautifully serene park area complete with a simple, familiar park bench. She began to drift away from me, and I felt a sudden, sharp pang of desperation. I didn't want her to leave. I felt an immediate, profound, and entirely unbreakable connection to her, as if I had known her energy for an eternity. As I turned my attention toward the park bench, I saw 2 elderly figures sitting quietly with their backs to me. As I approached them, they stood up and turned around. It was my grandparents. My grandmother had passed away earlier that very same year, just a few months prior. But here, in this radiant place, she looked entirely magnificent and completely restored. She was wearing a beautiful, vibrant blue dress, radiating a healthy, powerful energy that defied any earthly aging. Standing right beside her was my grandfather. He was dressed elegantly in a sharp gray suit and a classic top hat, appearing to be in his glowing, vibrant 60s. I had never actually met him in the physical world. He had sadly passed away before I was even born. Yet, I instantly and completely recognized him, perhaps because they lovingly chose to present themselves at an age I would easily recognize from the old family photographs kept in our home. I called out to him, overflowing with boundless joy, calling him Grandpa. He smiled warmly, his eyes crinkling with kindness, and greeted me back. But then, he turned to my grandmother with a look of genuine, innocent confusion and asked what I was doing there. I was deeply puzzled by his reaction, my curiosity suddenly piqued by his unexpected question. My grandmother looked at him gently, then turned her piercing, deeply loving gaze directly toward me. She pointed her finger with absolute, undeniable authority. I didn't hear spoken words vibrating through the atmosphere, but I completely and instantly understood the powerful message projected directly into my consciousness. She told me I had to go back. She told me I was not supposed to be there yet. And in that ultimate realm, when a directive like that is given by a higher energy, you absolutely do not have a say in the matter. It was abundantly clear that my time and purpose in the physical world were not yet complete. But before I was forced to leave, the magnificent presence of that realm showed me something. It was a profound pause in the fabric of eternity. Something etched so deeply into my eternal soul that I can never, ever forget it. A truth about the interconnectedness of all living things. And then, the irresistible pull began. I was suddenly being dragged backward. The force was overwhelmingly strong, but completely painless. I was drawn back through the beautiful, serene park, pulled back across the endless, glowing fields, moving backward through the vibrant, living garden, and slipping back out through the immense golden gates. I was violently thrust back into the dark, rushing tunnel, moving in reverse at an unimaginable, blinding speed. The heavy darkness enveloped me once more as I traversed the infinite cosmic void, leaving the light behind. Suddenly, I was hovering high in the physical sky directly above a hospital building. I was pulled rapidly down through the dense roof, down through the ceiling tiles, until I was floating in a sterile room, looking directly at my own physical body lying helpless on a hospital bed. I had a clear oxygen mask strapped tightly to my face and an IV dripping fluids into my small arm. My immediate, overwhelming reaction was one of complete and utter refusal. I communicated loudly to the collective consciousness that I absolutely was not going back into that broken, heavy, restrictive shell. When you experience the boundless, incredible freedom and unconditional love of the other side, the very last thing you ever want to do is return to the dense, painful, confusing limitation of the physical world. It is the great, ironic paradox of human existence. While we are here, navigating our daily lives, we spend our time terrified of passing away. But once you finally cross over and see the truth, you realize that returning to the physical body is the true hardship. But despite my desperate protests and spiritual resistance, I slipped right back into my physical form in a split second, like a hand sliding effortlessly into a tight, cold glove. Then suddenly, I felt the agonizing pain again. The heavy, crushing, unbearable weight of physical sensation came crashing back down on my consciousness. I heard chaotic, panicked voices echoing loudly around the sterile room. The bright, harsh, artificial lights burned my sensitive eyes. I was gasping desperately for air, my physical lungs expanding painfully, as if I hadn't used them in centuries. The first anxious faces that came into focus hovering over me were my mother and a tense team of medical doctors. I had woken up. I was forcefully pulled back into my earthly body, back into the timeline of the living. But I was absolutely not the same person. The naive boy who had sat in that dental chair was gone forever, completely replaced by someone who had seen behind the heavy veil of our reality. A couple of days later, I was finally released from the hospital and returned to my family home. I eagerly and passionately told my parents about everything that had happened, about soaring through the tunnel and seeing my grandparents in a place of unimaginable, flawless beauty. But this was the early 1980s, and such fantastical stories were immediately and firmly dismissed. They gently but firmly told me it was just a vivid hallucination, a bizarre dream induced by the medical trauma and the heavy gas used during the procedure. When you are young and you passionately tell the people you trust most about a profound, life-altering experience, only to be met with constant skepticism and patronizing disbelief, a dark seed of doubt inevitably begins to grow in your own mind. I knew in my soul what I had seen, but the constant invalidation made me deeply question my own sanity and memory. I cautiously shared my experience with close friends and extended family members, but absolutely no one believed me. I slowly started to wonder if it really was just a chaotic creation of my fading, oxygen-deprived brain. This painful inner turmoil and spiritual isolation continued relentlessly for an entire year. Then, exactly a year later, when I was 15 years old, I was standing outside my family's home on a beautiful, crystal-clear day. I was looking up at the vast blue sky, a sky that now seemed incredibly dull and lifeless compared to the radiant one I had witnessed in the realm beyond. I spoke out loud, projecting my desperate thoughts out into the universe. I asked the divine for a clear sign. I pleaded from the bottom of my heart, asking that if I had truly visited that heavenly home, to please give me an undeniable physical sign, because no one believed me, and my own internal faith was beginning to seriously waver and break. Just then, my mother called out to me from the house, asking me to come to the front yard to join her and my siblings for a casual family walk down the street. I walked out of the gate and joined them on the sidewalk. We were walking together casually, enjoying the pleasant afternoon weather. And then, about half a block down the familiar road, the impossible happened. I suddenly felt a profound, radiant, and intensely familiar presence appear to my right side. It was the beautiful angelic being I had seen floating in the celestial fields. I started shouting frantically to my mother, pointing wildly at the empty space on the sidewalk, but she just looked around, confused, and saw absolutely nothing. My brothers immediately started teasing me relentlessly, telling me to stop making things up and acting crazy. But my older sister, who was walking on the far right side of our family group, suddenly stopped dead in her tracks. She wasn't laughing or teasing. She was looking directly at the exact spot I was pointing to, and to my absolute shock, she began to speak directly to the presence. The angelic being had somehow manifested right there in our dense physical reality. She appeared to be wearing ordinary earthly clothes, simple blue jeans and a shirt, but the shirt was incredibly special. It was adorned with vibrant, glowing flowers, and they were the exact same impossible, radiant, living flowers I had seen blooming in the heavenly garden. As this divine being walked right beside us, a massive wave of indescribable emotion washed over my entire body. It was the exact same overwhelming love, profound peace, and absolute perfect harmony I had felt on the other side. It was a profound, comforting sense of being entirely and eternally protected from all harm. My older sister was actively acknowledging her presence, carrying on a conversation with her, and I was absolutely, overwhelmingly ecstatic. I didn't want this beautiful, comforting presence to ever leave our side. As she playfully skipped along the concrete sidewalk, defying the mundane reality around us, I called out to her, asking in disbelief if she could actually see me here in this world. She turned her head, smiled with infinite, radiant warmth, and her exact words echoed clearly in my mind, telling me that of course she could see me, calling me silly for even entertaining the doubt. It was as if she was gently and playfully mocking my lack of faith in the divine connection. She walked with us for a while longer, laughing warmly and skipping joyfully, engaging in a continuous silent dialogue with my sister. And then, just a few blocks later, as peacefully as she had arrived, she simply faded away into the invisible air. My sister and I frantically looked around for her, completely ignoring the confused stares of my mother and brothers, who simply assumed we were playing some elaborate, strange prank about an imaginary, invisible girl. If my older sister had not been able to clearly see that angelic being, if she had not physically validated that miraculous, impossible moment, I would have spent the rest of my earthly life doubting my own mind and my own soul. I would never have found the inner courage to step forward and share the absolute, undeniable truth that the other side is entirely and permanently real. But the most profound, life-shattering revelation of all was yet to come. You see, before I was even born, many years prior, my parents had a daughter. She was only a few delicate weeks old when she tragically passed away. I had never met her in this life. I had never known her face or her voice. But in that incredible moment on the street, and in the deep conversations with my living sister afterward, I realized the true, staggering magnitude of the miracle I had been given. The universe was not just sending me a random spiritual sign to validate my hospital experience. It was sending me my own sister. I am much older now, a grown man navigating the complexities of this world. But my living sister and I still talk about that miraculous, beautiful day all the time, usually once a week. The universe, or God, or whatever name you choose to give the divine source, answers our desperate, silent prayers in the most incredibly mysterious and breathtakingly beautiful ways imaginable. The powerful message I received was abundantly clear. Not only had I been granted the incredibly rare permission to see the eternal realm beyond our own, but I had been granted the ultimate, priceless gift of meeting the beloved sister who had crossed over long before I even arrived in this physical body. Over the passing years, she would occasionally visit me in the quiet sanctuary of my dreams, gently taking my hand and guiding me to other realms and places of astonishing, unparalleled beauty and spiritual peace. People constantly ask me, is the other side truly real? My answer is always the same. Most definitely, without a single shadow of a doubt. Are our deepest pleas and prayers actually heard by the universe? Most definitely. I certainly don't pretend to have all the answers to the vast, complex mysteries of the cosmos. But my personal faith and my deep understanding of humanity's delicate existence have been irrevocably, permanently transformed by those 7 minutes. We are all here in this physical realm for such an incredibly short, fleeting window of time. Whether you live to be 30, 70, or 90 years old, whether you experience great wealth or deep poverty, it is all but a rapid, fleeting blink in the grand, infinite expanse of eternity. From everything I learned and absorbed during my time on the other side, I firmly and completely believe that we actually outline a detailed plan for our souls before we ever enter this physical vessel. We write a complex, intricate soul contract detailing exactly what we need to experience, the difficult challenges we must bravely face, the people we are meant to encounter, and eventually, the specific way we will exit this world and return home. I know this is a deeply difficult concept for many grieving or struggling people to grasp. People naturally and painfully ask why anyone would ever consciously choose to endure horrific suffering, painful illness, devastating car accidents, or sudden tragedy. But you must try to understand that this physical realm, which feels so incredibly heavy, solid, and permanently real to us right now, is essentially just a temporary, immersive dream state for the eternal soul. When you finally cross over, when your spirit is untethered and your senses are finally unburdened from the dense biological limitations of the physical brain, you instantly realize that the spirit realm is the true, absolute reality. The existence over there is the genuine, permanent baseline of all consciousness. If you could only briefly experience the profound ability to look at an object and literally feel its unique, humming, vibrational frequency, you would completely understand how limited we are here. We simply cannot do that here on Earth. Our brains are far too biologically limited to process that level of cosmic information. There are brilliant, radiating spectrums of color on the other side that simply do not exist anywhere on Earth. I have spent decades desperately trying to find the right artistic or descriptive words to describe those colors to people, and I always completely fail, because earthly language cannot capture the essence of divine, unearthly perfection. A computer cannot generate them. A painter cannot mix them. The emotional sense of absolute, unbreakable oneness with every single living thing, with the entire woven fabric of the universe, is a state of being that humanity will only truly, fully comprehend once they cross the final threshold into that angelic, heavenly place I now call home. Many people around the world, from all different cultures and backgrounds, frequently experience inexplicable, lingering feelings of familiarity, a deep-seated, unshakable intuition that they have been somewhere before or known someone in a past lifetime. You might travel to a foreign country or walk into a strange room and feel an instant, undeniable bond to the space, knowing in your absolute core that you have walked those floors before. Or you might meet a complete stranger and feel an instant magnetic connection, knowing without a doubt that you have crossed paths before, even if you cannot possibly pinpoint where or when. These are not merely random coincidences, déjà vu, or simple tricks of a tired mind. They are the echoing memories of the soul's incredibly long and complex journey through the physical realm across different timelines. The souls of those who have passed on, our friends, our family, our ancestors, are not confined to distant, unreachable, cloudy dimensions in the sky. They are all right here, all around us, all the time. Imagine blowing up a large, colorful balloon in your mind. Picture it expanding. Now picture yourself trapped completely inside the hollow space of that balloon. The spirit world, the realm of the divine, is everything existing outside of that incredibly thin, fragile layer of rubber. When the air is finally let out at the end of your life, your soul simply and easily leaves the tight confinement of the balloon and seamlessly transitions into the vast, boundless, infinite reality that was always right there, just millimeters out of reach. The spirits of our departed loved ones, the guiding energies of the universe, they are absolutely everywhere. They are not just lingering spookily in abandoned places we consider haunted. They are woven intimately into the very air we breathe every single day. Some individuals possess the unique, sensitive ability to naturally perceive and connect with them, while others do not, simply because it is not part of their specifically chosen path in this current lifetime to understand or interact with that frequency just yet. We all possess different roles. In this lifetime, I was clearly not meant to be a surgeon or a mechanic. I was meant to be a person who experienced this profound journey, who investigates the other side, and who shares this specific message of hope and eternal existence with anyone willing to listen. We are all here for a distinct, beautifully designed purpose. A purpose that we carefully planned and wrote out before we ever took our first breath in the physical world. We come into this challenging world to learn, to grow, to experience the incredibly vast and often painful spectrum of human emotion, and to evolve our spiritual consciousness. Yet sadly, we spend so much of our precious fleeting time here violently fighting for trivial, meaningless things. We obsess endlessly over acquiring the biggest, most expensive house, driving the newest, fastest car, securing the most impressive job title, and accumulating the most wealth. We willingly drown ourselves in empty materialistic pursuits, completely and utterly forgetting the fundamental, beautiful truth of our actual existence. When your time inevitably comes, and the silver tether to your physical body is permanently severed, you will leave absolutely every single material possession behind. You cannot take your accumulated wealth, your societal status, your expensive clothes, or your prized objects with you into the radiant light. There are no moving trucks on the road to the afterlife. The only things that truly matter, the only eternal currency that holds any actual value on the other side, are the pure vibrations of love, compassion, and gentle kindness that you actively generated and shared during your short time here on Earth. Isn't it profoundly more important, then, to deliberately dedicate our short, unpredictable time here to being truly responsive to the deep needs of mankind and humanity? To actively help people in whatever compassionate way we possibly can? This doesn't necessarily mean you have to make grand, sweeping financial gestures or start global charities. It can be as beautifully simple as making a quick phone call to a lonely, forgotten friend, offering sincere, heartfelt words of love to a family member, or just taking 10 seconds to help a struggling stranger safely across a busy street. Because every single genuine act of kindness, no matter how incredibly small or insignificant it may seem in the moment, emits a powerful, echoing vibration of pure love into the universe. And when you finally cross over, it is that accumulated, euphoric love that you get to take with you. It becomes part of your eternal glowing garments. The material objects you stress over will eventually rust, crumble into dust, and be completely forgotten by time. But the love you selflessly share resonates beautifully through all of eternity. Be happy and deeply grateful for the unique journey you are on, regardless of the painful hardships or perceived lack of material wealth, because it is the exact, specific path your brave soul required for its ultimate evolution. I know that navigating the heavy waters of this physical life is incredibly difficult. We all constantly battle with intrusive negative thoughts, paralyzing, terrifying doubts, and overwhelming, suffocating fears about the future. We all do this because we are encased in dense human forms, and our physical, biological brains naturally struggle to comprehend how immense darkness can ever truly be transformed into brilliant light. But I promise you, with every single fiber of my eternal being, that this miraculous transformation is exactly what happens the moment you cross over. Everything there is completely bathed in absolute, radiant, unconditional light. Everything is impossibly, flawlessly beautiful and perfect. It is a perfection that far exceeds the most beautiful sunset or the most magnificent landscape you could ever witness on Earth. Do not spend your short, precious journey blindly adhering to the restrictive beliefs, pressures, and strict dogmas imposed upon you by others if they do not deeply resonate with your own soul. You bravely arrived in this physical world, completely alone, and when your predetermined time finally comes, you will cross the threshold back into the glorious spirit realm completely alone, leaving everyone behind. Therefore, the only true, reliable guide you must ever follow is the quiet, intuitive inner compass of your own eternal soul. We all perceive the physical world differently because our souls have chosen vastly different necessary lessons for our growth. If we were all meant to follow the exact same path, life would be a robotic, meaningless exercise. Follow your unique, beautiful path with unwavering courage and deep compassion. And when you are completely enveloped in the heavy shadows of doubt, always trust the profound, eternal, divine belief that resides quietly and permanently deep within your own heart. Because what I saw in those 7 minutes, I've started seeing it again, even now. The profound, undeniable lessons I brought back from that realm have forever altered the way I view every single passing moment of this physical life. They teach us that true, lasting wealth is found only in the unconditional love we freely give and the gentle kindness we spread to others. These revelations have the incredible power to completely dismantle our hollow materialistic anxieties and inspire us to become infinitely better, far more compassionate versions of ourselves while we are still here. And this raises one final echoing question. What else is still hidden, waiting quietly in the shadows, right in plain sight of everyone? Regardless of what you personally believe about the afterlife, the transformative, healing power of these extraordinary experiences is completely undeniable. They serve to constantly remind us of the incredible, unyielding resilience and eternal nature of the human spirit. Tell us, what did you truly think of this incredible, life-altering journey? Let us know your deepest thoughts and reflections in the comments below. And please don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more unbelievable, true experiences that will continue to challenge everything we think we know about life, passing away, and the great beyond.